Well, Lindsay Boach is out live this morning.
She's working on her golf game. I'm a little jealous this morning. Good morning, Lindsay.
Me too.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, putting is my least favorite part of the game, probably because it's my worst part of the game, I suppose. My whole family struggles with putting, so maybe it's a genetic thing. I'm not really sure. Matt Burry joins me now. He is the golf pro here at Westview Golf Course. What's the first thing that you do when you get your ball on the green? What's the first thing that you should do before you make that putt?
First thing you should do is always mark your ball. Great habit to get into. Get a coin out of your pocket or a ball marker. Mark your golf ball, pick it up. It gives you a chance to clean it, but what I like to use is use a line on it. It's kind of the legal way to cheat, I guess. Line up the line where you think it needs to go. If it's a straight in putt, then what I like to do is take the alignment aid on my putter. You can't see it now, but it's dark. And then line that up with the line on the ball and straight back and straight through. Try to keep it very simple. So
now some greens are a little tricky. You have to kind of watch which way the grass is going, which way the hills are going on the green. What are some tips for that?
Well, some tips for that just basically comes with experience. But one thing a lot of golfers like to do is just walk it back and forth a couple times. You get a kind of feel with your feet what the ground's actually doing, whether it's uphill, slightly downhill, or if it breaks left or right. That's the best way, but again, that comes with a lot of experience and just a little bit of practice. So.
Okay, so you have your ball kind of close to the hole. How do you want to set up? Where do you want your feet in relation to the ball and the hole?
I like to have it set up close, first of all, because a lot of times when people come out to golf, I tell them, throw down a couple golf balls and practice for a few minutes before you go out. It never fails. They drop one down and putt the longest putt they can putt. That's not the best way to start. And I always like to relate it to basketball. When a basketball team goes to warm up for a game, they don't start with three-pointers. They start with layups. So you want to start in close. The more you can see that ball go in the hole, it's going to give you more confidence. And then gradually move out from there. So, but once you get on the green, the best way is get set up here. Fairly wide stance, whatever you're comfortable with, but that ball should be in the front half of your stance. You want to actually be striking the ball on a slight upstroke, so you're actually catching it on the upstroke and getting it top spin and getting it rolling as quick as possible. So I have it slightly in the front half of my stance. However you hold the grip, the club, it doesn't matter. There's no wrong or right way with putting. You see all kinds of crazy stuff out there. So whatever you're comfortable with, the key is with putting is not to let the wrist break down like this. So if you hold it left hand low like this, there's crazy stuff. Whatever you can do to keep the wrist out of it, that's what you need to do. So the ball in the front part of my stance, I hold the club very lightly. I choke up just a little bit, so I'm just barely touching the ground, and then I try to go straight back and straight through.
And there you go.
And there you go.
Easy as that, right?
Well, yes.
And they even have clubs that putters that come up to here that you can hold them like this. I'm going to work a little on my putting, and we're going to talk a little bit about chipping here coming up in the next half hour.
Some great advice. I learned some stuff there.
Good.
And I could learn to chip and drive and everything in between.
Then you can show up your dad when you go out on your next golf outing.
So. Although he just had his hip replaced, so I could probably take him now. How's that? Tegan went to college on a golf scholarship, so she could show me a thing or two too. I'm working on her golf swing this morning. She's like Lindsay Bagger Vance.
Bagger Vance.
Boach
Bagger Vance Lindsay. She already got some good putting tips earlier. Now she's working on her chipping skills.
What are you calling me?
Like, you know the legend of Bagger Vance? Can we call you like the legend of Boach Vance?
I thought you were saying Tiger Pants.
No, it's a great movie, Legend of Bagger Vance, Will Smith.
You know I have not seen that movie. No, I don't even know what it's about or who's in it or anything. All I know is that we are out on the golf course this morning. We are learning about chipping. We did get some putting tips, and now Gideon Smith with the Quincy Country Club is joining us. What's the first thing you need to know before you start chipping the ball?
Well, the first thing you want to know is you want to look to see what kind of area you have to cover. In this case, we have a small treble area, so we're going to pick a club that's going to go and get on the green, roll out towards our target, which is maybe about 30 feet away. So I've chosen an 8-iron for this shot. Our basic setup on this is going to be almost like your putting stance. You want to make sure that your feet are slightly close together. I can hold it like a putter, or I can hold it like a normal club. I like to make the club go a little bit more upright, so it's like my putter. And then my setup is going to be the club's going to move backwards and forwards just like we're putting.
Okay. Well, how do you know when you should be chipping the ball?
Well, most of the time you want to know when to chip when you have trouble area or rough to carry the ball over. You don't want to putt through the rough or anything like that. You want to make sure that you're going to cover trouble area and get it onto the green.
Now, do you take a large swing with it? Do you do a small backswing and then a follow through?
Most definitely. This is going to be like putting. You always want to follow through.
Okay.
Your swing is dictated by your distance. So however far you want the ball to go, that's how big of a swing. So generally on a chip, not real big swing.
Okay.
A pitch, yeah, you're going to make a bigger swing to make the ball go farther.
Now, what's the difference between the two of those?
Good question. Chip is something that gets on the ground faster and rolls towards your target. A pitch is something that gets more air time and then rolls a little bit. So anything that goes higher in the air and for a longer distance in the air, that's going to be a pitch.
So if you were off the green on the side and you're trying to get it back up?
That's correct.
Okay.
If you're a good distance off the green and you have a lot of area to cover, then yes, that's going to be a pitch shot that you're going to do.
You want to show off your skills a little bit?
Sure, no problem. So basically we've got a target right out here. I've got a lot of green area to go on, so I'm choosing the 8-iron today to get it to roll out towards my target. Again, the ball is in basically the center of my stance. I want to make sure that the club is a little bit more upright and I got a little bit more weight on my left side. I'm going to make the club move backwards and forwards like I was putting. I aim my club at the target or the line I want the ball to go on, and as I set up, I take one last look, chip it towards the hole, and try to get up there where I can make a 1-putt and get to the next hole.
All right, thank you very much. Great tips. If you're going on the course today, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a little warm out there, but should be a great day for golf.
Is there a bad day for golf? There is a bad day for golf because I've golfed.
Yes, there is a bad day for golf.
34-degree temperature
rain.
and misting rain.
Yes.
Horrible. Yeah, so I take
And
that
cold.
back. All right, thanks a lot, Lindsay. Today will be a nice day to get out. Working on her golf game. Rough job this morning.
They're putting her to school out there on the greens.
Yeah, it's a great day for golf. There's not a cloud in the sky. It's kind of crisp right now, but it's supposed to warm up. So if you don't have any plans, I don't know, maybe you should think about hitting the links. But before you do, we have a driver in our hands right now. Matt Burry's with me. He is the golf pro here at Westview. What's the first thing before you hit the ball? What do you want to do when you get out on the golf course?
Well, the first thing you should always do is maybe throw out a couple practice swings just to help yourself get loosened up, because most people just rush out here to have fun and don't get prepared to go. So if you can take a couple practice swings before you get started, that would really help your game.
And we have a ball that's on a tee here. How high do you want to put the tee? Do you want to use plastic?
You want to tee the ball as high as possible. Most people make the mistake of teeing it down low. So you want the ball, the equator of the golf ball should be at least with the center of the golf club.
Okay.
So with the ball position out by your front foot, you're actually going to be swiping at it on an upswing. So that's why you want it teed up nice and high so you don't miss the ball. So again, a nice wide stance with the driver. Generally, the longer the club, the wider your stance should get. And again, that ball position should be just inside your left heel or your left instep if you're a right-handed golfer. And again, you're going to be actually sweeping up at it. So to help get that ball up in the air, give yourself a better shot.
Now, how should your swing be? Should you drag the club back in the beginning or twist? Or how do you swing?
A combination of all those things. Again, I always like to teach the one-piece takeaway, so the arms and the shoulders and everything turning away at the same time. When I'm working on my full swing, I'm trying to get my left shoulder pointed down to the ball. I'm not as flexible as I used to be, but that's the idea, a one-piece takeaway. So
how important is that follow-through?
Follow-through is just as important, same thing as the backswing. You should be in balance on the whole part of your swing. So if you're in balance, your follow-through should be nice and standing on your left side for a right-handed golfer.
All right, any last tips for golfers out there?
Just have fun.
All right, thank you very much, Matt, for having us out here this morning, learning some great tips to improve your golf game. I know it's the end of the season here coming up, but these are great things that you can be practicing throughout the winter and maybe take them out on the golf course next spring.
I wish we had more time to chat with you because I would say, hey, Matt, Burry, fix my slice. But there's not enough
well,
time.
I don't know if he can do that from you in there and us out here.
Yeah, well, there's not enough time in the day anyway to rectify that situation.